Hello, this is Maya from Book from Dreams, and welcome to week 2 of Let's Finish My Reddit Fantasy Bingo TBR in 4 weeks. If you watched the previous week, then this outfit might be familiar because I'm just basically continuing filming with the second week's vlog. Now, the whole thing is I have a bunch of books for Reddit Fantasy Bingo Reading Challenge that I haven't read. At this point now I have 14, and now I have 3 weeks to finish them. So during week 1 I finished 4 books, and now I have decided to put all the audiobooks that I have in the spinning wheel thingy, because I really enjoyed doing that while I was doing the 72 hours in the Reading Nook readathon, whatever. I have a vlog for that, so check it out if you want. So I'm just going to use this Sunday to figure out what I'm going to read first next week. So starting tomorrow, Monday, right? I'm not going to start that today because that would be cheating. But I am going to try to read one of the physical books that I have at some point, but we'll see. So basically, yeah. The point of this little clip today is to just pick the book that I'm going to start with on Monday. All right, so let me just turn you around. All right, here's the wheel. Here are the options. And now let's click to see what will be our first read for tomorrow. I hope my phone is freaking out. The Final Strife. Okay, cool. Okay, so The Final Strife by Sara El Arifi. I'll just read you the tag. If what I remember from this is that it's a fantasy, obviously. So I'm looking at the Goodreads summary here. So I'll just read you the tagline. Red is the blood of the elite, of magic, of control. Blue is the blood of the poor, of workers and of resistance. Ooh. Clear is the blood of the slaves, of the crushed, of the invisible. And then, as I see, we follow 3 characters. I guess one of them is resistance. I want to say Sila. I guess she's part of the resistance. And then we have Anur. She is, I guess, royalty. And Hassa, I do believe, is then a slave. Ooh. As the Empire begins, a set of trials of combat and skill designed to find its new leaders. Ooh, the stage is set for blood to flow, powers to shift, and cities to burn. Alright, so yeah, that's the book we'll start with tomorrow. I'll talk to you when I read something. Hi, it's Tuesday. So, it was a bit of a question whether I would start reading that or continue on with Gracie and the Grump, because I spent a bit of Sunday reading that and I was really enjoying it. I got like 30 pages in and it was very interesting. But then I was like, okay, I have to read this. So I started The Final Strife, and I am now at 22% of the book. I am very glad I stuck to it because the first 10-15% was very bleak. We follow a character, Saya, who is she is very unhappy with her life. She basically spends her days fighting in an underground ring of fighters, I don't know, and using drugs and just trying to forget her previous life, because there's a cool line in this book, like, I have no purpose, I have no life, something like that. And basically throughout this book we find out what her purpose was. So we live in this world where society is divided into 3 tiers. So the Embers, right, are top tier because they have red blood. Then we have blue bloods, which are like regular workers, and then you have people with translucent blood who are basically slaves. They are slaves. The story starts with this action of rebels where they broke into 12 Ember houses, so the top tier of society, and they basically switched out the babies. So they gave them like blue blood babies and they took red blood babies, because their reasoning was that they would train those babies, the red bloods, so they can participate in this competition that the Embers have every 5 years, in which the best of the competition can get into power. So, and you have like 4 categories, like knowledge, strength, and 2 more, which I don't remember right now. Sila, who we follow, we find out like this 15%, I'm going to spoil a bit, is that she is one of those babies, and she was raised with this knowledge of, like, we are raising you to, you know, participate in this thing, and we want you to, you know, win and whatnot. So she's been training her whole life for this. But 2 years ago there was a tragedy. I guess their part of the rebellion was discovered, and everyone was mostly killed, except her mom. And later on we find out that one of her friends or brothers or whatnot also survived. So now she's like kind of dealing with the fact that she has lost her way, and she is not dealing with anything very well. She's going from job to job, and she just basically hates everyone. She also has a friend, Hassa. They are one of the third rank people. They work as slaves. They're also the people who, when they are born, their hands and tongue gets cut out because of fucking reasons. I think there was a rebellion like 400 years ago, and this is the payment that their people have to pay for their rebellion. Yeah, it's all very bleak. The first 10% I was like listening to it and following along on my Kindle, and I just, this is so bleak, I can't even, I can't. But I stuck with it, and then we met the baby. So, as I said, those two babies got switched, and basically Sila figures out that she is the daughter of Warden of Strength, current Warden of Strength, which means that their child, oh my god, whose name escapes me right now, something that starts with N, I think, is basically blue blood or whatnot. And she kind of gets drunk one time, Sila, and goes and to the upper part of the city, walks in because she can, she has red blood. And she wants to like see who this girl is who like took over her life and stolen what, you know, what's supposed to be hers. And she meets this chubby, she has such good humor. She basically, her mother hates her. I mean, mother hates her because she knows, she figured out very quickly that, you know, this is not my child, and she's hated by her peers because she's not very good at the magic stuff that they're supposed to be good at, and basically she's having a shitty time. But she's also very full of humor, and she's interested in like literature, and she reads like pulpy magazines and whatnot. So basically she walks into her room one night and she sees Sila being all drugged out and like talking gibberish, and she decides to keep her. And to the shock of everyone, applies to the competition to be the Warden of Strength, which is quite impossible for her. But she's like, you know, I have this assassin girl, whatever, she's going to teach me how to do stuff. And that's where I'm at right now. So, yeah, I have like, I think 6 hours left of this audiobook. I will see how much reading gets done today, because today I will insert clips now. I went on a field trip with my school. And we went to see this, is that I'm not sure if that's a mountain, but basically near Croatia's capital, there's this thing called Sljeme, which I don't know whether it's a mountain or a very, very steep hill. It's a mountain, because there's a ski thing going on, and so we basically went and we walked around. And there was this, we went to see this historical castle called Medvedgrad, and to get to there you had to walk like fucking incline. This was the incline, like 500 meters of this, and it was fucking horrible, and I hated it, and I'm tired. Hmm? So yeah, there are some sprints happening right now, so I might use that to do some reading. But yeah, we'll see how far I get, and I'll talk to you when I read some more. I'm pretty sure it's a mountain because the views from up there were really fantastic, and you got to see basically the entirety of northern Croatia, and it was so beautiful. It was fun, and I really had a great time. But you know, I dislike walking uphill, and that kind of killed me today. It's Tuesday evening. It's almost 9 p.m. I am now at 47% of the final strife. I'm gonna stop reading for now because I'm too tired to focus anymore. What I can say is that as we're following, oh my god, again forgot the girl's name. So Sila and I want to say it's not Aru. Hold on, let me check. Anur. So we are still following Sila and Anur. So Sila is training Anur to participate in this competition, and she passed the first stage where she had to show her ability with bow and arrow. Now she has to show her knowledge of strategy, and this is about to happen soon, this second competition. Besides that, we are following different other characters. Hasa, the slave one, she is basically helping her people with something. I think their goal is to eventually leave this place, because the story is you can't really go anywhere because this is the only place in this world. But Sila found a little map in she was robbing a house to sell for drugs, where there's like a map of their continent, and like on a corner there's a little land. And they're like, well, they're not supposed to be land there because the legend says there was a great fire that basically burned everything down and destroyed everything. So throughout the story, we're sort of getting hints about this land, and we are getting hints of how Sila was trained, and you know, her relationship with John, who is one of the other sand something. It's not sand people. That's dude. One of the like her fellow. What do you call them? Conspirators, I guess. But there's also a new version of their like conspiracy happening, which I'm pretty sure something's fishy with that one, because John is like a part of it, and Sila is not, because she basically spent the last 2 years thinking everybody died and ruining her life. Well, they have found him and John and trained him to, you know, participate in this competition as well, to become the arbiter or whatever. Which I think they're having to. I don't think that them achieving this goal of becoming an arbiter will help them at all. Like help their people or whatnot. They won't be able to. I don't think they won't be able to achieve any kind of change, and in the society and whatnot. So yeah, it's interesting. I'm really enjoying Anur. She sort of acts like she's in a story, and you know, she is just full of humor and you know, so happy and so different from Sila, and it's really, really cool to follow her. So yeah, I'm gonna stop reading for tonight, and then I'll talk to you tomorrow when I read stuff. It's Thursday afternoon, it's almost 5 p.m, and I have finished the final strife today. Oh my god. So I don't remember what I told you in the last clip, but I gave this book 5 stars. It's a first fantasy book in a while that I've given 5 stars. Also, when I started reading this book, I didn't compute that it's over 600 pages. So yeah, that's why it took me so long to read it. But yeah, I really had a good time reading it. I really got invested in the characters. The story was really good. Some things are a bit predictable, but it sort of amped up the anxiety, I guess, and you know, amped up my enjoyment of the story, and how, you know, I got invested in the characters, and you know, I knew some things were supposed to happen, and I was curious to see how they were supposed to happen and how they were to happen, and you know, how the author is going to, you know, do the things, and it was so good. So there's this A plot of people trying to bring change to society to make sure like the people on the bottom start making decisions and whatnot. And there are conspiracies and, long-lasting plots and whatnot to slowly, I guess, exchange like the top tier of government with like lower tier people. And it's just, it's convoluted and it's like insane. And you're like thinking, that doesn't work. There's no way this is going to work. And following the story throughout and just waiting for that other shoe to drop to see, like, to see how everything would fall apart was really fun. Not that it did fall apart. Well, technically it did. It was really great. I really enjoyed it. And then you have this B plot of, is there something beyond our land? Because these people have been taught over and over again that there was like this never-ending fire or whatever that destroyed everything from another continent and whatnot. And throughout the story, Sila and Anor keep finding clues that, there might be something in the mainland, right? And discovering that through those two and Hassa, who is a slave, but actually a spy. There's so many layers to the story. I just really had a great time with it, and I'm looking forward to getting to the sequel very soon. Which then leads me to picking another book. So let's go to the spinny wheel thingy. So here we are. Let's spin the wheel. Oh, I have that one. Hold on. Okay, so the wheel landed on The Adventures of Amina El-Sirafi by Shannon Chakraborty. What I know about this, it's about pirates, and it's about an old pirate captain. Are there pirates? A pirate of infamy, yes. And Amina basically has to collect the old crew for a mission of some sorts. Are they saving someone? She's offered a job no bandit could refuse. She jumps at a chance for one final adventure with her old crew. So yeah, I guess this is going to be the week of tomes because this thing has 482 pages. Awesome. So yeah, we're starting with this today. We're walking. One cat. 2 and 3 cats. And we met a dog. Hey doggy. Big dog. Hi, it's Saturday morning. I'm currently at page 283 of Amina, The Adventures of Amina El-Sirafi. This is, I think, 60% of the audiobook. I am having a really good time with this. So, as I said before, we follow a legendary captain, pirate, smuggler, Amina El-Sirafi, and she has been hired by this old woman to find her granddaughter who has been kidnapped by a Frank. Now, they had an explanation of who the Frank is. I thought he was like a Spaniard, but apparently not. Anyway, this dude is going around looking for Amina because, there's legends about Amina's, awesomeness and whatnot. And he's on a mission to collect a bunch of mythical, supernatural, something magical powered artifacts to like work on his own magic or whatever powers and whatnot. So he's going around and killing people, sacrificing them to stuff, and using black magic to do shit. So Amina sort of knew nothing about this when the whole thing started. So she goes, the old lady offered her a lot of money. So she goes around and tries to collect her old crew and get her own ship to go look for this little girl. She's also trying to protect her family because the old lady then, at one point, of course, blackmailed her and said, if you don't find my daughter, after Amina finds out that, the Frank is much more dangerous than previously, advertised, she threatened to let every one of her enemies know where she is. So she's now, forced to do this. What I enjoy about this, the relationship with Amina and her old crew is giving me such Locke Lamora vibes in the first book, the first half of first book. If you read it, you know what I'm talking about. And I'm really having so much fun with them and on their adventures because there's banter, there's inside jokes, there's such cool characters. One of them is a poisoner. Following their sort of friendship picking up from the last time they met each other is really cool. There's also this mystery of Amina's child. I don't know how much I want to spoil this for you, but when we meet the child's father, it was so funny, and it was so, because the character itself is very how to explain this without spoiling stuff. They're a bit unfamiliar with human customs, so it's not easy to trick him, but you know, it's fun to see how everyone is twisting their words and the meaning of regular things to not mess with him, but you know, to try to make sure he doesn't kill everyone. And yeah, it's a fun book. I'm really enjoying it, and I'm enjoying the adventure they're going on. So yeah, hopefully I get to finish this before, let's say, in the first half of the day, so I can focus on the next book for the rest of the weekend. But yeah, so far, really having fun with this. I finished it. 5 stars. Fucking loved it. The way the story ended, the way the story has mythical things, mythical creatures, magical powers, magical artifacts, like different kinds of worlds and invisible bonds, creatures, jinns, vampire-like stuff, like giant snakes, giant leviathan creatures, a fucking pirate court, and you know, oh my god, so many cool things. I really enjoyed being in this world. I really had so much fun. It really did remind me at parts of Lies of Local Mora with the relationship between the characters, the found family aspect, just everything. I really enjoyed it, and I feel so stupid for waiting for so long to read it. I mean, it's been on my TBR since last year. This is really good, and I'm just now in the mood for like high fantasy. This one, then The Final Strife and The Midnight Bargain, I think are pushing me now towards fantasy. I've been reading a lot of cozy fantasy and sort of low stakes fantasy, actually, and lots of romance, but this is so good. I feel like inspired to read more epic fantasy. So yeah, let's see what the wheel will pick for us for the next read, and then we'll go on from there. All right, so I set up the wheel, and let's see what it picks. Ooh, Daughter of No Worlds. All right, so Daughter of No Worlds by Carissa Broadbent. I'm reading from Goodreads. It's book 1 in a thing called The War of Lost Hearts. It says here, a former slave fighting for justice, a reclusive warrior who no longer believes it exists, and a dark magic that will entangle their fate. So, romantasy. So I'm looking forward to this, because Christina's been reading something by Carissa as well. I think her other popular series, and she really loved it. So Tisana is a slave. When she buys her freedom, she barely escapes with her life, says here. Desperate to save the best friend she left behind, Tisana journeys to the Orders, the most powerful organization of magic wielders in the world. But to join their ranks, she must complete an apprenticeship with, I can't even pronounce this, Maxantarius? Farlione, I have no idea. Anyway, a fearsome and reclusive fire wielder who despises the Orders. Okay, basically she has to do this. I guess that would be her love interest. I have no idea. So it says fans for epic romantic fantasy like Sarah J. Maas and Raven Kennedy will devour this tale of dark magic, passionate romance, vengeance, and redemption. So that's book 1. I'm going to start that. So it's Monday. I have just finished Daughter of No Worlds by Carissa Broadbent. I don't know what to say. Honestly, I thought I would like it more. Christina read something by her, another book, and she really liked it. So I thought I would enjoy this one more, but it seemed a bit, I don't know, throughout the book I was like, okay, I wasn't really engaged. I didn't find the characters all that interesting, I guess. In this story we follow a former slave. She has violently escaped her enslavement, and she's traveling towards this land to the Orders, which is like a magical organization, society of, you know, people who can wield elemental magic, where she wanted to learn magic. She has a bit of magic and she was self-taught, and basically since she was 14 and found out that they existed, she worked really hard to, you know, collect her money to pay her master and to leave to go to this, you know, magical school. So she gets there and she is sort of dropped in front of Maximilian something guy's house. So this dude is a very powerful magical user, and he has been instrumental in the previous war, which we find out more about throughout the book. And he's basically shut himself away from society, and now he has this young girl, I think she's 23, I think, or 21 or something, placed on his doorstep, and he's supposed to teach her magic, and he doesn't really want to do that. But when she tells him that she has a plan to save all her fellow slaves and whatnot, he gets moved, and they work together then to prepare her for a testing, and so on and so on. What I want to say, okay, there was one interesting aspect of this story, is the fact that our main character did not fully speak or understand the language of the country she was going to learn the magic, and throughout the story she gets better and better and better. But, you know, to follow sort of the beginning of this mentorship, you know, with this sort of language barrier was really interesting, and it was something I don't think I've read before in a story. So that part was interesting and fun. The relationship, like, goes from, like, you know, teacher-student, even though he's like maybe 10 years older than she is, or maybe even less, then to friendship and you sort of being there for each other, and then to a romantic aspect it was fine. Like, I wasn't really all that invested, really. So yeah, overall, yeah. I've read better. There were some interesting aspects. Am I going to continue on with this series? Probably not, because I could not care less about what's happening. Because there's also one thing, after this testing, our main character gets basically supercharged and she stops learning, and which is kind of, I found that a bit off-putting, because it's like, you came here to learn magic. You've been doing that for like 5 months, and you got lots of training montages of her building butterflies and whatnot from various elements, and really, but then, you know, she gets supercharged with something that I'm not going to spoil, and then all of that stops. She's basically, oh, I can fight now, I can, like, you know, she practices weapons. She starts practicing with different weapons. But, you know, when it comes to magic stuff, it's like, oh, let's do this by instinct, you know, and whatnot. But the main character herself was very interesting. I liked how she was thinking, how she was letting people think that they were taking advantage of her, but she was, you know, sort of scheming, but not like, but she wasn't like too mean in her schemes and whatnot, and she wasn't like too devious, and, you know, but whatever. She got her initial idea done. That's, I guess, great for her. But yeah, that's it for this week of reading. So I'm now 3 books done. I have now read 7 books out of the 18 that I'm supposed to. I have 2 more weeks left. So we'll see how we'll deal with the 11 books I have to read yet. If you read any of the books that I have and you want to share your thoughts, please do so down below in the comments. If you like this video, please press the like button. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next reading vlog.